about harming somebody's mother or their kids. But you know this platform gotta be non-biased. And a Florida rapper went viral a couple years ago after this altercation in a mall out in Florida.
Your mama got put up there.
That man who was telling another man that his mother got put up there assuming she passed away go by a name Psycho Bob. He's a Florida rapper. His government, Cambrell Smart. He currently doing 5 years in the feds for a firearms charge we'll later discuss in the video. But like they say, family, what goes around comes around, and revenge don't have a date on it. Cause just like that rapper went viral for that clip a couple years ago we just saw, it seemed it may have been retaliation allegedly, after his mother was allegedly gunned down in her driveway after being ambushed in broad daylight. Our mothers bringing us into this world, something money could never buy. It's unfortunate that some of these kids to these women is the reason they losing their life. So before we talk about who this rapper is, his run-in with the law, him recently being shot a couple years ago, and the news today of his mother being gunned down in front of her home, remember family, I don't give you no angle, I just give you the story. So with that being said, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We're gonna jump right to it. Psycho Bob is a Florida rapper as we mentioned. He's sort of best friends from the outside looking in to the Florida star, Kodak Black. Some of Psycho Bob's most known songs was features from Kodak Black, and tracks like Back to Back, Psycho Bob, released last year with over 780,000 views and counting.
Psycho Bob, cut the bill, side to snipe.
But Psycho Bob managed to pull numbers on his own, dropping solo releases and still managed to get hundreds of thousands of views on YouTube.
With two demons, heard her knock them off the bike. Headshot, he twirl, he gon' fall to his bike.
But it seems this rapper can't stay out of trouble or stay in the eye of the law. At just 23 years old, back in 2017, he was one of 3 people arrested for a shooting back in West Park, Florida. The shooting was reported at 2:50 a.m. Saturday in the area of Southwest and 48th Avenue and 20th Street. According to Broward Sheriff's Office news release, the suspect parked a dark-colored vehicle at the intersection and Smart and Davis got out the car. Deputies say Smart, aka Psycho Bob, fired a shot in the air, and then he and Davis shot people who were gathering at the outdoor party. He was a felon in possession of a firearm. He did about 2 years and came home. 4 years after that incident, Psycho Bob found himself getting shot on a freeway alongside 2 other people. Broad daylight, he managed to survive. A fan saved his life. It was a tan vehicle, remained in the road the last week of April of 2021. It was riddled with bullets. It was a Monday afternoon, just north of Sunrise Boulevard. Authorities say they began receiving 911 calls shortly after 3 p.m. and that someone in a black BMW fired at a tan car, which then crashed into other vehicles while trying to get away. After the crash, more gunfire erupted. Investigators say there were exchange of gunfire between the cars involved. It's unclear if anyone in the BMW was shot. They called the area hospitals and didn't hear about any additional victims being shot at the hospital.
Gunfire erupting on a busy road in Lauderhill, leaving a car riddled with bullets.
The shooting sending 3 people to the hospital, and that's where we find Local 10's Sanella Sabovic live with what just learned about one of the victims. Sanella.
The victims, all men, were transferred here to Broward Health Medical Center from Plantation General Hospital. We're told they are stable, expected to be released soon, and one of them is actually a South Florida rapper. 3 friends were driving southbound on State Road 7 just north of Sunrise Boulevard Monday afternoon when they heard gunshots and pulled up right to a shooting scene.
When we came up, we just seen like the accident. I seen the guys getting out of their car, blood gushing out of them. It was just really traumatic to see.
This gold sedan was riddled with bullets. The 3 men inside were shot and begging for help. One of the victims, police say, is a South Florida rapper who goes by the name Psycho Bob. Tristan Johnson left his friends behind and immediately drove them to Plantation General Hospital.
Honestly, I didn't think. I just went with the car and just drove. It was like an adrenaline rush, and like I was hitting the gas the whole way. And, I was trying not to hit anybody.
The rapper and the 2 men who were with him were then transferred to Broward Health Medical Center. Police say around 3 Monday afternoon, someone inside a black BMW started shooting at the men inside the gold sedan. The driver of the sedan tried to get away and in the process crashed into several cars. The shooter caught up to the victims and continued to fire. That's when someone in the gold car shot back. The driver of the BMW was last seen heading southbound on State Road 7. Police investigated for hours, finding shell casings along the street and on the sidewalk. They are actively searching for that BMW and the people inside. As for Johnson, he was glad that he was able to help and says he was at the right place at the right time.
It's probably a day I won't forget. You know, I feel like I did something good. So, yeah, hopefully they're okay.
Everyone should know these urgent maternal warning signs during.
Again, the victims, we're told, are stable. They are expected to be released from the hospital soon. And we're told also by Lauderhill police officers that they are not cooperating with this investigation. Meantime, that BMW and the person responsible for this crime have not been located just yet. That's the latest here from Fort Lauderdale. Sanella Sabovic, Local 10 News.
And like I said, Psycho Bob managed to recover, thank God. But it seems he got into some more trouble the next year. But it was from that incident. His lawyer was fighting it. Of course, he was a felon already, but he ended up getting convicted and having to serve 5 years for having a firearm during that incident we just discussed. And there was some marijuana located in the vehicle. But then we head to today, September 13th, 2023, Wednesday afternoon. This video was floating around on social media. Now, you couldn't really see nothing but legs, but allegedly that's the mother of Psycho Bob and the officers trying to help. She was ambushed while sitting in the driver's side of her van in front of her home in Fort Lauderdale.
Night at 11, the search is on for a shooter after a woman was found dead in a van in Fort Lauderdale.
Let's get to Local 10's Terrell Forney live with the investigation. Terrell.
This was a murder that happened in broad daylight in a Fort Lauderdale neighborhood, a murder that now has the attention of a number of homicide detectives here at police headquarters. Let's get right to this scene. Let's take you there right now, Northwest 30th Way, near 21st Street in Fort Lauderdale. The crime scene in the driveway of a single-family home. The victim, a woman who was in the driver's side of a van that was parked there when she was shot, apparently ambushed right there in the driveway. The call of a shooting first came in just after 6 tonight. Officers arrived and pronounced that woman dead. The back window of that van appeared to be shot out. That van was eventually towed away from the scene. Family members, loved ones, and neighbors, they all gathered just outside of the crime scene tape as those officers worked the area. Out here now, back at the police station, we can tell you that no identity has been released on the victim. Family members of this victim, they declined to speak on camera at this point, but we know that the circumstances and the motive, they are still unclear, and that is what is keeping the attention of detectives here. They're trying to figure out exactly what led up to this and why. We also know that those detectives, they are urging the public to pick up the phone and give them any help that they can to help crack this case. Reporting live from Fort Lauderdale, Terrell Forney, Local 10 News.
As we continue, we want to say rest in peace to the victim.